Elkhorn City will soon have a new leader, while the current mayor says he will resign at the beginning of April. And a Virginia couple was on what officials are calling a hijacked yacht. Now their son is sharing why the couple was on the boat to begin with.
And this spring preview continues tomorrow. Your first alert forecast coming up as Mountain News First at 4 continues.
Mountain News First at 4 continues.
After more than a decade, one Pike County town will soon see a new mayor. WYMT's Buddy Forbes has more about Elkhorn City's ongoing changes.
After discovering a list of financial problems and hearing a lot of public concern, the Elkhorn City Council is working to recover. But that recovery is now coming with a restructure following the resignation of the mayor. Mayor Mike Taylor announced his resignation in a Facebook video last week, saying he is stepping away from the role after 13 years effective April 1st. He says the recent issues with the city's finances, the community pressure and conversations, and the lack of support since the most recent floodings have all led to his decision to resign.
I love everybody. I'll still do for them just like I always do. But I'm not going to put my family through it no more. But I want this other stuff straightened out, finances and retirement. Whatever we have to do.
Taylor says he plans to stay in place until the beginning of April to work with the city council to help get Elkhorn City back to where it needs to be before he bows out. In Pike County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Taylor says the city council will appoint one of its members to fill in as mayor until the next election. We'll have more from Taylor coming up tonight at 6.
We are tracking some warm weather across the region as we kick off this work week, and we stay warm once again by Tuesday, but changes on the way as we go into your Wednesday. Let's take a live look from Pulaski County, from downtown Somerset. That current temperature up to 75 degrees. Most of us right now in the upper 60s and lower 70s, up to 73 for Manchester, also in London, 71 for Jackson, 70 for Pikeville and Hazard at this hour. So we are well above average. We should be in the lower fest, gusting to 24 in Somerset, gusting to 18 for Moorhead, also in London, and some even gustier winds are on the way by Tuesday, Wednesday. We could see winds up to 30 or even 40 miles per hour at times for the middle of this week. Up on First Alert Pinpoint Doppler, we are dry. And more mainly dry weather is on the way for this evening. So if you have those plans, we stay a little bit breezy, also dry and mild as temperatures are back in the upper 50s and lower 60s. Now we are watching out for a few stray showers as we go into late Monday, early Tuesday, but higher rain chances are on the way mainly by Wednesday. Those details coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
Cameron, thank you. We are learning more information about the two Americans who may have been killed after reportedly being hijacked by prison escapees. A sailing club has identified the two as Kathy Brandel and Ralph Hendry. Both were spending the winter cruising the Eastern Caribbean after sailing their yacht from Hampton, Virginia to Antigua. The couple's son, Nick, says this trip was his parents' dream.
But this trip to the Caribbean was their dream. This is what they had been working towards for years and years and years, to get Simplicity up to the point where it could make a passage like this and get Ralph and Kathy to the point where they felt that they had the wherewithal to actually helm their boat and make this journey. This is what they've been working for years, and this was the trip that they were making that was a lifelong dream.
Police in Grenada have said that they have three men back in custody who escaped from prison on February 18th and may have killed the couple. A temporary ceasefire deal for Gaza could come soon, but Israel's prime minister is vowing to complete his mission to defeat Hamas. This comes as Palestinians in the southern Gaza city of Rafah brace for a possible ground assault by the Israeli army. CBS's Ian Lee reports.
The sound of Israeli drones is ever constant in Gaza, just like hunger for millions. Palestinian Siraj Shahata fled Gaza City with his siblings, looking for food and finding it every couple of days. We would eat bird and donkey food, just anything, he says. Those left behind in Gaza City wait for UN food aid. Will it arrive? They don't know. I wish death for the children because I can't get them bread, shouts this father. I can't feed my own children. As Israel prepares for an assault on Rafah, the UN is warning of dire consequences for Gazans.
Would not only be terrifying for more than 1 million Palestinian civilians sheltering there, it would put the final nail in the coffin of our aid programs.
But on CBS's Face the Nation, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vowed to take the fight to Hamas in Rafah.
Unless we have total victory, we can't have peace. We can't leave Hamas in place.
Katia Zohar's daughter, Bar, was among the more than 300 people killed at the music festival last October.
I miss her hug so much. I want to hug her every day. 5 months and every day I'm dreaming maybe it's just a bad dream.
A nightmarish reality on both sides as the war drags on. Ian Lee, CBS News, London.
The ceasefire deal being negotiated could reportedly see a 6-week pause in fighting and the release of dozens of hostages in return for hundreds of Palestinian prisoners. Palestinian Prime Minister Mohammed Staya resigned today. He says he resigned to allow for the formation of a broad consensus among Palestinians about political arrangements following Israel's war against the Islamist group Hamas in Gaza. The move comes amid growing U.S. pressure on President Mahmoud Abbas to shake up the Palestinian Authority as international efforts have intensified to stop the fighting in Gaza. A major setback for Harvard University's efforts to fight anti-Semitism on campus. The co-chair of the Anti-Semitism Task Force resigned barely a month after it was formed. Harvard's interim president says Professor Rafaela Sadoun decided to refocus her efforts on research, teaching, and administrative responsibilities at the business school. In a statement, she said she was grateful to have had the opportunity to advance the work to combat anti-Semitism. Now to the presidential race. Candidate Nikki Haley vows to stay in the race after Donald Trump beat her in the primary in her home state. Haley spoke to reporters at a campaign stop in Grand Rapids today about the loss.
I can tell you that we raised $1 million in 24 hours after the election in South Carolina, that we are continuing to see the Americans want me to be that voice. I will continue to fight for them. As long as we think that there is an option, we're going to keep on doing it.
Coming up on First at 4, Hazard Community and Technical College officials are partnering with 2 organizations to help folks get their GED and prepare to enter the workforce.
Plus, we stay unsettled through midweek. Your first alert forecast after this break.